Clark County Today is presented by Connell Real Estate. Hire an agent, get a team. Learn more by visiting connellrealestate.com.
Good evening, Jacob Granneman here with your Friday night edition of the Clark County Today update and the stories we're following for you. Be sure to stick around until the end to hear about a next-level cyclist headed for big things. Let's dive in. Clark County ended the week with another 113 COVID-19 cases and 2 more deaths. The latest victims were a man and a woman, both in their 80s and with underlying health conditions. The county added 832 new cases and 6 deaths this week, a 58% increase over last week, and an average of 119 cases per day. By comparison, 2 months ago, we were averaging 28 cases per day and 42 cases a day 4 weeks ago. Active cases rose from 428 on Thursday to 451 today. 46 people are in Clark County hospitals with a confirmed case and 6 others awaiting test results, making up 8.3% of available bed space. In response to the increase in COVID-19 cases, the governors of Washington, Oregon, and California have issued a travel advisory asking people who've traveled out of state to quarantine for 2 weeks after returning home and urging people to limit their travel to only what is absolutely necessary. Today, Oregon Governor Kate Brown announced a 2-week freeze with new restrictions on restaurants and social gatherings from November 18th through December 2nd. In a brief address on Thursday afternoon, Washington Governor Jay Inslee urged Washingtonians to avoid gatherings during the upcoming holidays.
We are optimistic that Thanksgiving 2021 will be the best ever. But this year, it's just too dangerous to gather together indoors where the virus can spread so easily. So this year, when you join us in changing your Thanksgiving and December holiday plans, please know that you are doing it as an act of love for the people around you and your entire community.
Inslee did not announce new restrictions on businesses or gatherings, but did warn that announcements on further measures would be coming soon. On Monday, Vancouver Public Schools plans to bring back kindergarten students into the classroom. Evergreen, Battleground, Camas, and Washougal have already launched their kindergarten hybrid learning plans. VPS says 21 primary schools will reopen for in-person classes of no more than 10 students at a time. Similar to other districts, the in-person classes will happen every weekday except for Wednesday in 2 shifts of 3 hours each. Students will need to pass new thermal scanners each morning as they enter their school, and masks will be required at all times except during meals. At a board of directors meeting for the district this week, concerns were raised about equity since students returning to class will likely get more learning time each week than children who are kept home. Administrators said they are working on ways to try and level the playing field for students who aren't able to return to the building. The county's public health department announced 9 new COVID-19 cases linked to Clark County schools, though none of the most recent exposures happened inside of a building. A 108-year-old church building in downtown Vancouver will soon be no more. Demolition work began this week on the former New Heights Church building at West 11th Street and Daniels. The original building was destroyed during a fire in 1908 and then reconstructed by the First Presbyterian Church in 1912. Recently, bricks began falling from part of the building, and the New Heights Church was told it would cost well over $6 million to repair. Instead, they sold the property to Ed and Dolly Lynch Foundation for $3.2 million. Michael Lynch, who now runs the foundation, says they learned Thursday that the new church had actually been built on the burned-out remains of the old one, making it even less structurally sound than first thought. The ancient stained glass windows were purchased by Three Kings Environmental, and some will be returned to the First Presbyterian Church. The historic pews were donated to the Friends of the Carpenter to be repurposed, and the bricks of the building will be turned into asphalt base for city projects. A time capsule buried in the foundation of the new church is also hoped to be recovered and returned to the First Presbyterian Church. During the Executive Steering Committee meeting of the Interstate Bridge Replacement Project last week, the U.S. Coast Guard gave them a reminder. Stephen Fisher is the Coast Guard Bridge Administrator and was listening to the online meeting. During public comments, Fisher told the ESC that he wanted just to make sure everyone knew that the Coast Guard permit that was issued back for the CRC is expired. A new navigational impact study will have to be done to determine the correct horizontal and vertical clearances. During the Columbia River crossing effort, the original bridge height proposal came in too low for marine traffic on the river. A second and then third bridge height was proposed at 116 feet above the water. John Rudy of Thompson Metal Fab notified the CRC back in 2006 that they needed at least 125 feet of clearance. The current effort to replace the interstate bridge has a September 2024 deadline to proceed, or 2 states will be required to pay $140 million to the federal government. Visit clarkcountytoday.com to read the full story. Before the week of Veterans Day is over, we want to share with you a nice story about the students in Ridgefield School District taking time to honor the service of all military veterans. This year, instead of Veterans Day assemblies, the school took their events online with photos, videos, and presentations. Classes used the online events to spark discussion about military service and remembrance. Each school created its own unique Veterans Day program to distribute to the students. Many elements of the programs were created by students, including moving interviews for family members in the military, artwork, research projects, and patriotic music. Ridgefield High School's ASB students created a slideshow of photos. They thanked veterans for their service and included photos of family members of students who had served in the military. These moving presentations were a reminder to thank the veterans we know and to honor those who have passed. Many kudos to the students and teachers who helped mark this special day. Here's an idea for something fun to do this weekend. Area residents have the opportunity to head out to East Clark County for a scenic drive to visit 6 local artist studios at the first ever Washougal Camas Open Studios. Participating artists will open their studios to the public from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. The 2-day show is designed to connect the community with local artists, allowing the public to experience a variety of creative spaces where artists work. Attendees can see Copperworks by David Girton in Camas, and just a few blocks away, see Classic Oils on Canvas by Cheryl Matheson. In Fern Prairie, Liz Pike is opening her studios as well, which feature vibrant oils on canvas. Kelly Cooter is opening her home studio in Washougal, which features a variety of works in oil, acrylic, and mixed media. And 2 sister artists, Susan Grover and Charlene Hale, are teaming up in a dual exhibit. Grover produces pastels and Hale creates fused glass works of jewelry. Attendees can also take the scenic drive up Washougal River Road to see Shirley Bishop's body of art glass fusing. For addresses and more information, see our full story at clarkcountytoday.com. Tomorrow is the National Diabetes Day, and Paul Valencia had the opportunity to talk to one diabetic who isn't letting diabetes get in the way of being an incredible athlete. Here's Paul.
Hey, Paul Valencia here. We are with McKenna McKee, a 17-year-old cyclist who hopes to one day be in the Olympics. She also has diabetes.
That means, we're all living and racing with diabetes. So it pretty much means the world. We all race to inspire, educate, and empower people affected by diabetes. And we do that every single day. Long-term goals is next year, hopefully, Junior Worlds. And then after Junior Worlds, keep going to Elite Worlds. And then the Olympics.
This Saturday is World Diabetes Day. This is also the 99th year that insulin has been used in the fight with diabetes. McKenna McKee said she wants to go to the Olympics one day to prove that diabetics can do whatever they set their minds to. McKenna was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when she was 6 years old. Self-described as someone who was born to ride a bike, she vowed then to not let the disease take away from her cycling. At 7, she started competing. Now 17, she trains 6 days a week, 2 times a day. She strives to improve and is proud to represent the diabetes community, riding for Team Nova Nordisk, an all-diabetes professional cycling team. McKenna McKee is proof that diabetes does not slow her down.
Well, there's a look at the stories we've got for you at ClarkCountyToday.com. Be sure to check in with us on social media through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube to see when stories are posted and join the conversation. You can send us any story ideas and feedback you have to our email, news@ClarkCountyToday.com. From all of us, thanks so much for watching. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you again on Monday.